All right, let's take a look at some more examples from published articles. Uh, Again, what I want to do with this part of the class is kind of help facilitate and get you used to reading articles that have these sorts of statistics in them. Within several fields of psychology, ANOVA will be the dominant area. Any field of psychology that's experimental will rely heavily on ANOVA. So getting used to seeing some of these values is pretty useful. Oh, it's Becca. Okay, cool. This is some research done by Becca Kovarubios, who is at the UC Santa Cruz. Read a little bit about her bio. As a social and cultural psychologist, my research focuses on identity, culture, health, and education, equality access for underrepresented and diverse individuals. More specifically, I examine how dominant cultural values, practices, and representations within school and health contexts differentially shape the daily experiences and self-understanding, performance, well-being, self-concept of majority and minority group members. And I know Becca, she's really awesome and impressive. Stephanie Freiberg, who I also know, she is the current president of the the Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues. She is a professor of American Indian Studies and Psychology at University of Washington. Actually, she just moved to the University of Michigan. Read her bio. She's a proud member of the Tulalip tribes and centers our research on how social representation of race, culture, and social class influence the development of psychological well-being, and educational attainment. Interestingly, Steph was in the news recently because an article that she worked on with a former student that focused on Native American individuals' perceptions of the Washington team's football name, and found that the vast majority really did find the name offensive, got a lot of press recently, and was one of the major factors in that team changing its name. All right, what happened in this study? This study examined 90 Native American middle school students who read a story about school success. The factor here, the independent variable, was the type of student story. Self-relevance, students read a self-relevant story, picture of a Native student with story cues like grew up on the reservation. Sorry, I got a misspelling there. A self-irrelevant story, picture of a white student who grew up in a city. Ambiguous role model, no information about the background. And finally, no role model, no student in the story. The dependent variable is the school belongingness scale. So what they're interested in is whether reading stories that either you identify with or would have no reason to identify with influence how much you feel belonging in school. Their results, they used a one-way ANOVA, and it revealed the anticipated effects on belonging. When they say that, what they're saying is we were able to reject the null hypothesis. You can see the probability is below 0.05. Analyses revealed that Native American students exposed to a self-relevant role model, you can see the mean there, reported significantly higher school belonging than exposed to an irrelevant, ethnically ambiguous, and no role model. Those D statistics that they're doing, they were providing comparisons between the individual means there. And sometimes you see people breaking stuff down in that manner. So what's nice about this second piece is it's got all of the elements, it's got all of the statistical values you want, but it also brings in that plain English type explanation.